What is going on, all-terrain nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these badass midsize trucks, you guys know I love to drive. This is your all-terrain nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and that is right. Midsize trucks is kind of back. There's been a hiatus of this thing because, well, I've just been busy like crazy, to be honest, and I want to do more in the afternoon stuff like this, and it was just at the time it was getting complicated, but my life is freeing up ever so slightly. And I want to talk trucks during the day with you guys and SUVs and stuff. But midsize, out of all my live streams over the past couple of years, this has been the most popular live stream. So you guys must really want to talk midsize vehicles. So I tip my hat to you and say, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully your Friday is going well. Mine is good, sunny here in Nashville. It's no humidity really, so I'm super happy. And after this, I will be outside because I've got to wash up our Raptor. Because I don't know if you guys watched the videos, it kind of took a beating, and I mean a beating, and I haven't washed it yet. There's still all the dirt and sand from the rocks, and we went up to the dunes in Michigan this past week, and we were testing some Kumo tires that video will be dropping really soon. I've had a lot of people asking me about these tires, but we've been testing these on the road and stuff. I want to give you an honest opinion of what these tires like, and I see a lot of YouTubers out there where somebody sends them some tires for review, and you see them polish them up. They say, yeah, they're great, and they hope that people buy them. I'm not like that. I'm actually going to, if somebody, I don't care who it was, Kumo was not on the top of my list to get tires, and I'll be honest, I've been very pleased with these tires. So you guys know I'm a BF Goodrich snob, so there there is that. In the comments below, give me a hell yeah, what's going on, man? Let me know how your Friday's going there, so I know who all is in the live stream right now. But today I want to talk mid-size pickup trucks because, well, the news dropped yesterday morning that Jeep was going to keep the Hemi and the Wrangler, which is really, honestly, really not much of a surprise because the writing's been on the wall. You know, for the past couple of years, what's up, Maya? The past couple of years, you know, we were going to get the final version, and then they were going to do the final version again, and the writing's been on the wall for that vehicle of with the way the direction the company was going was, hey, you know, we're doing away with V8s, and that made me really sad. I think it made a lot of people very sad because, you know, especially in a pickup truck, people want high horsepower. They want torque, and they don't want some electric thing. I know Rivians are cool. I would like to have a Rivian in the driveway sometime. It's the price point right now that kills it for me. But I would like to experience a mid-sized pickup truck, but I need gas power. And so with the V8 sort of dying within the Ram brand and the Jeep Stellantis overall brand, it was kind of sad, and people reacted to it. And I think Jeep, especially Ram pickup trucks, initially went, "Oh shit," because sales just cratered real quick. And I think the Hurricane engine that they're putting in the full size truck is amazing. It really is. It's an amazing engine, a lot of horsepower, and I think what it's done is, I know, especially for like you guys know I'm in the Bronco crowd. I think it's the same thing the Bronco guy had to go through when they announced the Bronco was coming back with a V6 and a 4-cylinder. The V8 guy was like, not going to happen. I still see the comments in my videos today. If I post something on the web or internet here on social media, that still get V8 comments. I'm like, guys, you got to give up that dream, man. Ford, yes, they will keep a V8 around. The Coyote's not going anywhere because it is a good multi-use engine that can plug it here, there, and there, everywhere. But it's you know, their bread and butter is the EcoBoost stuff, and so I think Ram was sort of thinking, well, we can do that with the 1500s and stuff, and people will be happy. And unfortunately for Ram, they tied themselves in Jeep as well now with the 392. You've tied yourself, so your identity is so built around this. When in doubt, throw a Hemi in it. That the people were reacting poorly. You know, they did it with the what is it, the Grand Cherokee, I believe, or no, the Durango. Durango for Dodge, well, we're pulling the 392. They've been pulling the 392 in that thing for 5 years. So when the news came out yesterday that hey, the Gladiator and Wrangler, especially Wrangler, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I think fanboys of that vehicle probably some were pissed off because you have to think that if I paid for a final edition, I remember there were still lawsuits over the final edition of the Durango, and you have to think people were pissed off because you did rush to go get, hey, I want to make sure I have one of the last ones, and maybe not for collectors purposes, but just because, hey, I want the new car. And if this is the last V8 I can get, I want to rush to go get that. Of course, dealers took advantage of that as well as, the Jeep brand. They've taken advantage of this because if you look at a 392 for a Wrangler, I know they've made slight changes. It used to be on 33-inch tires. Now they're on a 35-inch tire. But if you look at what it's done to Gladiator or Wrangler, they're now over $100,000. And I'm gonna pop it up in just a second. We're gonna look at the pricing of one. But you know, the only reason they've gotten to $100,000 was after you do a final edition. Well, we're gonna jack it up $10,000. It's the final one. Sorry, we just got to do this. Well, they did that year one, year two, they did the same thing again. And before you know it, we're due to inflation. Yeah, we're over $100,000 for a Wrangler. And I'll say this about Bronco Wranglers, even Forerunners to an extent. They're not $60,000, $70,000 vehicles. Even though I have a $93,000 one in my driveway, I will let you get in that. It's no different really than the base model. And it's not worth the extra $50,000, $60,000. Now, for the channel's sake, we do tend to buy things. It was time to buy something for the channel, as well as I like to experience the highest horsepower I can get. So Raptor and the Bronco is where I was at with that. But if I look at where we are in the Jeep side, I can get into a 392, and they had was it the 25th anniversary, something like that they did. I was at the Chicago Auto Show for the launch of it. They did some fun stuff in the interior, red seats, but ultimately, other than a 392, there was nothing there that you go, man, that should have been a $30,000 price increase. Jeez. But I do want to bring up the topic of the day, which is the Gladiator, and our friend over at the Drive. Let me post this up here so we can talk about it. And I will post a link in the comments here in just a second. Our friends over at the Drive, Joel Federer, he was at, or I guess was probably on a video conference for a lot of these things. They were talking about, hey, we're going to sorry, there it is. Sorry, it's been a while since I've had to do this. We're going to the 392 is not going anywhere. And he wrote, there's a real good article in this. I want to post this in the comments. And if you're watching after the fact, I don't know if you can see these or not, but we'll do it anyways. Just because out of respect to a fellow journalist, especially a high ranking journalist as Joel is. He's a character. But this is pretty interesting. In the article, he talks about kind of funnily, hey, fans are probably not going to be able to sleep tonight over this news. And the Wrangler sticking with 392, that was big news, honestly, because people had wondered, hey, yeah, they didn't call this year the final version, but is it, and with the current administration's reluctance, or I won't say reluctancy, they're overzealous to pull some of the EPA rules back, which I think are good. It looks bad, but I think it's good. Let's reset a little bit. Let's get, one side or the left or right side out of the politics of making true decisions, because I think it did get to a left versus right in some of the EPA's decisions. But let's get back to a little bit of common sense with this. And it allows companies like Jeep, who rely heavily, and Stellantis rely heavily on their American products with a V8. It does definitely help that. But Jeep's pickup truck's finally getting a V8 option. The 6.4-liter Hemi V8 will have a home at Jeep, according to its CEO, and it's going to have a home in the truck. Now, we have the Wrangler here in 392 fashion, and good looking vehicle. I thought when it first initially came out and they only had 33s on it, I was like, you got to have, if Bronco's got 35s on it, you got to go 35s. And Raptor now's got 37s. At some point, they've got to go 37s on this thing. It's going to be a tick for tat. And it excites me in the midsize area because, especially in the kind of the convertible SUV area, because Wranglers had such a stranglehold on this area. They didn't have to they were only competing with themselves. So now, if you get the Bronco Raptor or the Broncos in general, it they forces them to maybe jump up and be a little bit better of a vehicle. I'm all for it. But what I think that could happen now, we look at the Gladiator. Well, I don't think that we have an image of Gladiator up here right now. Nope. But if you take in consideration Gladiator getting the V8, Ford had toyed with building a Bronco truck. They've toyed with that for quite a while. At two separate occasions, they've brought in Gladiators to kind of check them out. Hey, how can we improve on this? Stuff like that. Engineering's gotten a hold of them, and well, nothing's ever come from it. Gladiator sales, let's be honest, aren't that incredible. They've been kind of slowly tanking since the pandemic. It's been definitely a good vehicle for the pandemic because people, when you couldn't get Wranglers, they were buying Gladiators, and I like it. Other than the bed's just a hair too long, and are over America's Most Wanted, they've been bobbing these things, and it looks perfect after they get a hold of them. I do think it's just a little bit longer, but the Wrangler itself, it's great. I've driven it in two separate occasions. I've done drives on the 392. Love it. And then you think about that engine into the Gladiator itself. That's honestly, it's probably going to be just about right. You're going to get the cool rumblies, and that's the thing of the Hemi versus what Ford has with their EcoBoost stuff. You can't. There's just nothing like hearing the rumbles of a big V8 engine, and that's something the V6s, which I think my Raptor sounds great. But would I like to have a rumblies of a V8? You're damn right. But back to Ford, does this make them go, okay, Jeep's really sticking with the Gladiator? I really do. I think this means we get a second generation Gladiator. So does that make Ford go, well, maybe we need to take this more seriously? And Ranger, it's not been a smashed hit. Let's be honest. Ranger sales, which I've owned the Ranger Raptor, amazing vehicles, especially for the price point. 58,000, I think is what I paid for my Ranger Raptor, which was pretty decked out. That's selling well for them, but the Rangers are not selling well. Does that make also Ford go, okay, well, we've tooled up for trucks, and the Bronco and Ranger framing are pretty similar. Did that mean, can we switch to then a Bronco truck, which I would like to think could happen? I like, once again, I love competition, and I've said many times, if Ford were to make a Bronco truck, I'm all in. I don't care if it has a 4-foot bed. I'm all in on that because I love pickup trucks, and I love the old Gen 1 Broncos in the truck form, especially if you put 35s under those. Oh my God, it looks so cool. But back to Jeep. Jeep Gladiator getting this is going to be interesting. And let's see, we got a comment here. Feels like the GW or GCW needs to be higher on the Gladiator, 100%. And there's a lot to this that we don't know yet. Have they actually been developing this? I have a feeling they have. I mean, because Skunk Works is what brought the Rubicon to the. It wasn't like Jeep was out there actively trying to build the Rubicon package. They had their engineers inside the company doing something. So I'm sure they've toyed with this. I think enthusiasts are always blown away when, I know with Nissan, with the Frontier, you could drop the Titan's V8 in it fairly easy. Like, it mounted up. It was just more of a wiring harness that you had to change a few things out, but it pretty much was plug and play. And enthusiasts always trip out when it's like, oh, well, yeah, they developed that so fast. Well, yeah, because they know their own engineering and they can dump whatever they want into it. And, is what it is. But, and Jeep also, you got to realize the Gladiator framing's based more around, it's a little heavier duty framing. If I remember right, it's based more around the 1500 framing. But I haven't even researched that in probably 4 years. So I'm probably speaking out of my ass on that. But with Gladiator, yes, the excitement of V8 400. Let's see. I've got it pulled up here. The 392 remember that's non supercharged. It's just the normal 6.4. It produces 470 horsepower. Now, my Raptor outside is 455 horsepower, something like that, with a V6. So 470 is already whipping Ford's ass in that marks with small pickup trucks, because the Ranger Raptor, you can get 455, something like that, out of it as well with the tune. And that's a Ford tune, so it's not like you're taking it somewhere to have it tuned. But it is interesting that instantly Jeep is kicking Ford's ass in that regards. And then you got to think of Chevrolet. Chevrolet, let's see, Jeep front end with a 15. Yeah, okay. Thank you. The Chevrolet over there with their 4-cylinder, which I've said for a long time, the GM twins, if I'm looking at mid-sized trucks, just talking mid-sized trucks right now, I think they're the coolest looking out of all of them. I'm really fond of the GMC, even though the sales really don't justify why Chevrolet has a GMC in general, other than Denali. But especially for mid-sized truck, there's no real justification for the Canyon. I have a Canyon in my driveway right now, the last generation. It's a good truck, but you could put Chevrolet on it, you would have never known. But now Chevrolet's over there going, well, damn it, we're in this 4-cylinder territory, and people have been upset with Chevrolet about that. The little 2.7 they put in that thing is rattly, it's loud. Um, it's not particularly that spunky. I know the torque numbers, because it's a turbo, are pretty cool on paper. I don't feel it when you drive it. I took out the ZR2 Bison last year, maybe a year and a half ago, and love that vehicle other than the engine. I think honestly, out of mid-sized trucks, it's probably the best one if you just put a V6 in it. So you look at now the Gladiator going to have a V8 option, and that's really setting the benchmark is now set higher. And that's exciting for me. And it should be exciting for all truck. I don't care if you don't like Jeep. It's exciting when those benchmarks keep getting pushed up, because your favorite brand now has to react. And then, look at Toyota. The new Tacoma is it's selling well. And I'm assuming, I haven't looked at their latest quarter numbers. I would presume it's still the best-selling truck out there, but I know it's not set the world on fire. Not like when the last generation came out, man, it just took off even further than what was it, a 4th gen? I think they're on, no, maybe it was a 3rd gen. I don't know which generation Tacoma's on right now, but it took off even higher. And then this generation with the 4-cylinder, people are just, I don't know. It is a tough pill to swallow with a 4-cylinder. I know Ford and the 2.3 they put in the truck, it's good, it's spunky, but it's still, people think of it as a 4-cylinder. And it's that 30 years of V6s are not V8s that they used to put as a lower engine. Now we're looking at 4-cylinders, the lower trim engines. Either way, Toyota has to be scratching their head. There was some reports out there that they are actually, for the big trucks, they're testing out a Ranger, a Raptor-like vehicle. Nothing official from Toyota just yet. There were some spy photos out there. But Toyota with that truck, they don't want to mess with sales. They moved that plant, they moved trucks down to Mexico because it's a dedicated Tacoma plant. So they're expecting high volume out of that. Obviously a little bit better profit there as well. And they took the Texas plant. Now it's completely full-size truck. But I don't know how I feel for the rest of the competition right now. With 392, it's going to be badass, and I think people are really going to be blown away by this. But I think the problem is they're going to be blown away by the price. And I want to pull this up here. So let me do some movie magic here and add this. But I want to bring up the build-in price of the 392. It's going to be in a Wrangler, but I think it'll give us a great idea of what we can expect with the Gladiator. So here is a 392. Now 392s, yes, they're pretty much loaded, as it should be. There shouldn't really be, options for colors, maybe doormats, stuff like that, maybe some graphics if you want. But really, 392, you're getting everything, and as you should, because if you see the price up here, we're starting out as of right now $102,585. Now, is it worth that? Once again, not at all. If you have the money you have the means and you're capable of paying the price for that, it's probably worth it to you. But in general, there's nothing super special about this other than the big engine. So I like to set the tone of that. So if we think of what the Gladiator is going to be, I said in last night's video that I thought it would be probably $5,000 cheaper. I don't know that it will be. After really thinking and stewing on this all day, I don't know. I think you're going to look at $100,000 Gladiator, and that's where people are really going to lose their mind. Is $100,000 Gladiator. That's going to be a tough pill to swallow too, because people tend to treat trucks like trucks. So you might be a little bit more. It might just become more complacent out in the driveway. It might just be more of a plain, like, yeah, it's my truck, even though you start it and it sounds ungodly cool. Where the SUVs are usually more gaudy looking, they're more nuts looking. But 102, once again, colors. Jeep likes to obviously charge for colors, which is the dumbest freaking thing ever. Just no charge on covers. Just make everything $500 to $800 more expensive. And who cares about white's no upcharge. Yeah, but who cares? I don't. Though I do love Mojito. Mojito's probably my favorite color that Jeep does. But as far as options here, once again, I'm not going through what to build one of these things. We're getting 35-inch tires under the 392 Wrangler. I would expect the Gladiator to get 35-inch tires now. And at some point, I presume they're waiting now till the next generation Wrangler Gladiator, but they're going to bump them up to 37s. The Bronco's running on 37s, and man, I got 15 something on the highway with my tune, a lot of cargo in my my Bronco Raptor this week driving to Michigan from Nashville. So it can be done in a Wrangler as well. So I don't want to hear, well, the fuel efficiency. No, it's a V8 anyways. It's not super fuel efficient as is. But as we go through here, once again, the interior, this is not a $100,000 interior at all. At all. Even though I do like it. I think especially with the refresh they did 2 years ago now, I think it looks great. But at no point do you get in this and go, holy shit, this is what, when I was a kid, I used to think the Ferraris and stuff at 100 grand were like, so, all this Italian leather and all this. And now you're like, well, that's just a Jeep now. I mean, obviously supercars are gone up stupid expensive too, but in my brain, $100,000 should be just a little bit more classy than what these vehicles are. Even my Raptor is, the interior is like, we could do better, guys. We could really do better. But so yeah, you're basically getting everything. I just want to show this, but here's the star of the show. The 6.4 V8. Notice they use SRT now because they're all big into calling, bringing the SRT name back, which that's something they've struggled with. I don't know how the Jeep Ram brand is known for SRT, Dodge SRT, and they're known for V8s. V8s is, you just think of SRT program, and they brought SRT back and killed it twice, I think, in the 10s, the 2010 era. I feel like it was there, then it was gone. Then it was only on basically the Viper was going to be known as the SRT, and that's a whole nother thing. But this is what you're paying for. I know a lot of people would love to have this in a manual transmission, but that's never going to happen. We're happy to get these at all. So just enjoy the fact that you're going to get the 8-speed transmission. I do hope for the next version of Gladiator / Wrangler to get a 10-speed transmission, something a little bit better on the highway, maybe would be nice. But as far as options there, once again, you're getting one rear end, the 4.56. You can add goofy things like the air compressor for $2,000. No, I know companies that do that same thing in the tailgate for less than $1,000. So you can save money there. But that is that vehicle there. And I want to now go to yes, we're gonna lose it. We're gonna lose it. I want to go down to Gladiator. And let's just take a look real quick at what is the most expensive Gladiator. No, I don't care about that. Silly high tide. Give me the building price. All right, so here's where we're at. Rubicon X right now, $61,000. Now you build this thing out, I guarantee you're probably near $70,000. Maybe not, because the Rubicon X is pretty loaded. We'll say 65. Now you're talking with going to 100 grand. Now that's gonna really, people are gonna lose their mind about that when you go, okay, I want the V8. Is it worth 40 grand more? Not at all, man. Not at all. So I do think after the initial hype and all of us are journalists, when we get to drive the 392 in the Gladiator, we'll all lose our minds about it and write really cool things. And I think once it settles down, people go, I'm going to pay a nearly $2,000 a month car payment when I could have, roughly around $1,200 a month car payment. Might be a tough pill to swallow there, but once again, I think it's cool. I was very excited to see that news. I didn't get invited to that one, so kind of bums me out. But I was very excited to see the news that they were talking about bringing the 392 in there. Um, in that news article, it'll be the only V8 truck that can make a convertible. I drove with my Jeep Gladiator when the one I had. I took the top off all the time and loved driving around town with no top. It did look a little strange seeing a truck bed back there with the roll bars, but I loved it. I'm hoping with the next generation as well that they do fix the long bed issue. I understand why they want the long bed for motorcycles and stuff to fit back there, but ultimately, I've never seen one driving down the road with a motorcycle in the back of it. People are usually driving their Gladiator because they want to go off-roading with it, and they want to have some fun with it. But that's kind of where I'm at with the Gladiator. We got some other news I want to talk about. I am curious though in the comments below, especially if you're listening to this podcast, watching it later down the road. Leave me a comment of what your opinion is of it. I value your opinions. I do. It helps me steer where I want to take news, where I want to follow things, and right now the Bronco news is pretty down. So I'm excited that Jeep is back in the news because I do like covering a lot of off-road stuff. If you go over to our off-road channel, ATN Off-Road, and we do off-road trips. And speaking of off-road trips, I was just on a hell of a trip. I'm going to bring this up here because I think it's worthy because I do like to actually test the products that I drive or that I buy. I don't buy these for just to drive in the street. Much like I said with the Kumo tires that I'm testing right now, I don't buy these things just to kind of, oh cool. It's great on the streets. I want to live with a vehicle. I want to use it as it's intended and showcase it if I can. And that's what we've been doing with the Raptor. We've the wrappers are off of it. We're starting to modify the vehicle and have some really fun with it. So let's share the screen here. And this is where we were. So I guess it's almost 2 weeks ago now. So we started out the week of taking this thing off-road here in Tennessee and just having some fun with it in this capacity. We got 37 tires under this thing, so it's very capable out of the box. Like I said, once again, it is tuned with the Ford Performance Tune, so we're over 450 horsepower or like 530 foot-pound of torque, something ridiculous. So we did test this out there, and the video is on ATN Off-Road if you want to check this out. But yeah, we're having a blast with this. You can see it right there. Just enjoying that vehicle. And I mean, honestly, like I don't see many off-road channels out there, or auto journalists, I should say. There's dedicated off-road channels that will go beat the piss out of their vehicle. But I know there's some out there that they go climb up some stuff and they act like they on camera like, oh my God, this is so extreme. And not that we're doing right here. This wasn't the most extreme, but I guarantee you they don't go buy their own products and pinstripe the piss out of it, because that's what I did with this vehicle. And if you go over to Instagram, all-terrain _nation_ media, if you go over there, you'll see I'll throw up some pictures later today when I wash this thing, because once again, we beat the crap out of it. We had a blast with it. We took it. So we were in the rocks of Tennessee. So we did a day of rock crawling with it. And some of the tightest areas, the Raptor in general is kind of she's kind of a thick boy. And so, we pinstriped the crap out of it. Really, the tires performed well in the rocks. The vehicle in general performed well in the rocks. I was very pleased with how it did. Load up another little picture here. It really did. Like the only issue that I did notice with it is because it has so much boost that when you needed to get into it a little bit, like climbing up this rock ledge right here, we got to where you just needed to give it that little bump and throttle, that it built up so much pressure. After you got off of it, you really had to get heavy into the brakes. Like it wasn't out of control, but definitely all that boost and power needed to go somewhere. So I did notice a little bit of that. We did beat up. I took heat in the video, but we left the steps on knowing they were probably going to get the crap beat out of them. I ended up this one here. It is all bent up and out of shape, and hopefully we have some rock rails coming pretty soon for this. But I have to say, performed great in the rocks. And then even in the sand, this thing performed well. Let's see if I can find a picture of that. It I mean the Raptor should perform well in the sand, right? But we beat the piss out of it even in the dunes in Michigan and had a blast with it. And it's done everything that I've asked it to, but much like I was saying earlier, are they worth nearly $100,000? No, not at all. Don't do that to yourself. Um, it buy one used if you can. I really recommend that if you can get one used. I don't think I have any videos of it in the dunes. I do not. So poo on me. But let's see here. We'll add this here. Here's where we're at the 60th anniversary of the Ford Bronco. Me and Kelly and the kiddo covering this Ford Bronco. They brought out the 60th anniversary of that, which was kind of fun, which I have some thoughts of in just a minute. You can see I'm pointing to it. But it was nice out in the dunes, man. If you really want to have some fun, if you live in like I do in Tennessee, where you don't get to experience that kind of off-roading, definitely recommend going and doing it. It's worth it, man. Your family, the Mears, Michigan, there where it's at, the dunes, Silver Lake are nice. It's a nice place if you want to go spend a weekend, go drive up there, spend a weekend. There's things to do past off-roading, so the little town has little things you can do. Lots of food. The area itself is just beautiful. The coast of Michigan, the west coast of Michigan, is so pretty. So there's that. But I want to get into now. I want to get into the this boy right here. This is the 60th anniversary of the Bronco. Now, starting with, is it truly the 60th anniversary of this vehicle? I've seen so many comments about this, and they're just freaking stupid. Like, guys, yes, they're from the OJ period till the currently. Did they build one? No. But did that mean every Bronco was off the streets? No. Just stop with the nuances of like, oh, well, there's this. Yes, Ford's very aware that they didn't build a vehicle from there to there, but from 66 on, that is 60 years. And so they were happy to have some be able to give us this thing. And this is your 60th anniversary vehicle. And I'm going to bring up some better pictures because this is not what we want. But that's why that was the reason I went up there. I was invited to cover this vehicle. And so me and Kelly went up there, to see some pictures of it, or not see some pictures, to take some pictures of it and check it out. And a couple things we will see for 26, if you're interested in the Bronco, is definitely some new grab handles. I didn't really focus on that, and I probably should have. Tim Bartz, who I helped get invited to this, he did pick up on this, as he should, because he is the Bronco genius. He's a Ford genius, especially if you want to order anything. He's definitely the guy you want to talk to about ordering Ford products. But I probably even grabbed them and just, they were so right where they should have been, just didn't even notice it. But I apologize. I'm trying to go through my photos here real quick. We saw it. It was in I believe was it Wimbledon white. It's a great color. It's a classic color for Ford Bronco. Looks great. Past that, I just have to say it was a letdown. And I'm a Bronco guy. Guys, like I've been all over the Bronco bandwagon of hey, I love the Bronco. I think it's better than the Wrangler. Yes, if you want to build the ultimate rock crawler, go get you a Wrangler. But if I'm just want something to drive, go off-roading and drive home and not feel like I got the crap beat out of me, definitely the Bronco to me right now is the better of the two. And I think Wrangler it'll get much better. So let's share the screen. Maybe there she is. All right, there we go. Now we'll have a better picture of it. So this is what we went up there to cover, and interesting things. Wimbledon white. You're getting the red accents. I know you can get this also in ruby red, which without a matching top, which doesn't make sense to me, seeing how you're getting a Wimbledon white top on this. The grill, we've got a different grill here, which I do not like at all. I know people in my comments, I've seen them in the videos, like love this grill. I did This is, and I had the designer of the grill standing there with me, and I was trying to be polite. And as you do at press events, you don't want to call them out and say this is dog shit. But I'm not a fan of the new grill. Hopefully, this doesn't showcase what's coming for Bronco because I love the way they do the grills now, and they can play on the little oval notches a little bit. But these slats, I'm not a big fan of. They were very proud of the gray in here and how you can pop this chrome or the kind of platinum look off, and you can paint this stuff if you want to, which nobody's going to do on this. It's a 60th anniversary vehicle. Why would you do that? But this thing is built around the Outer Banks package, and I've seen a lot of people go, "Why did they not do it off Badlands?" Because they put Sasquatch under it. The only thing really you're not getting now is the sway bar disconnect. I don't think that's still like a commodity issue, like they're hard for Ford to get their hands on because I see a ton of Badlands floating to dealers. But nice badging on the 60th on the side of the door. I'm not going to say that looks bad because it doesn't. Everybody went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over the Bronco badging there. The designer was proud to let me know, and I didn't put it in my video. I said I'm save that for some other person to talk about. But there's 66 little stripes in the Bronco badge, which, man, that's a really deep cut on the Bronco album there. That you worry about that. But the steps, I mean, everything we've seen a lot of this stuff before, so it's not crazy. The wheels, these wheels did not need to be beadlock capable wheels at all. Nobody in their right mind, you will never see one vehicle probably with beadlock capable wheels of this or with putting beadlocks on these things ever. Why they chose to make them beadlock capable is beyond me. Maybe they figure somebody might wheel it and scratch the rim or the beauty guard there and put another one on it. I don't know. I don't know the philosophy behind that. These are the new RT tires. They're not the MT tires. So a little bit more all-terrain. We're not really a fan of the MTs, and I guarantee I wouldn't be a fan of these. They still do look pretty aggressive though. But overall, like it, just even the outside of this is a letdown. And I know for 26, a lot of people, I think we're going to see some more changes for the 26 model year, but people were all excited. Like 26 is the year. Big changes are coming. And I think we got Woodward coming up next week that I was supposed to cover, but due to Airbnb, thank you for effing up my trip, they canceled my reservation. I've had a reservation on a house up there for 2 months. A week before the event, they decided to cancel my reservation. And it's kind of in a sense worked out because our friends Jess and Mark, who are helping me with ATN Off-Road, Jess just came out of the hospital. She had some issues she was battling, so she's not feeling the greatest to drive all the way to Michigan to go with us. So we're going to go cover the Stampede in East Tennessee. So it's kind of worked out in a sense, but thank you Airbnb for messing up my trip. And yes, I could go get another one. I just kind of, once again, with our friends having some health issue, it worked itself out, but it still kind of messed my trip up. But I do think Ford's going to announce some colors, some new changes for colors for Bronco, which I'm a phone video away from talking about that. So is it worth me driving up to Michigan again? I don't know. But back to this one here. We didn't the bumper. There's nothing special about this. Yes, it's all blacked out. That it looks great with the white. A lot of people were saying I seen Ragnarcon's video the other day where he was like, I can't believe they didn't put chrome on this thing, which I'm kind of with you. It's very strange. You would have thought they might have chromed this thing out a little bit, but we're getting all the matchy handles. Kelly was interested in why they didn't paint the fender flares. And I said, well, it is a Sasquatch, so they're just putting the non-painted flares on it. But you would have thought for this, and they might have done that. Or honestly, put the damn square fenders on this. That might have been something nice they could have done. But overall, this was a letdown. Thank you if you've watched the video on that. Thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate it. I appreciate your interest in it. The handles, like I said, let me pull Tim Bart's. He's got a really good picture of it. So let me go back to Instagram. We'll go over to Ford Video Guy. Let's see here. I think that's where Tim has his picture of the handle. What'd you do with it, Tim? Got a picture of me up there. Thanks, Tim. Well, let's look at Long MacArthur. See if that's where he put it. Maybe it's even on his personal. I know he had it in his video. Yeah, I don't see it there either. Even the grab handle, I was just kind of like where the placement of it is right in the corner. It makes kind of a triangle out of the front pillar there. Um, Not really. It doesn't. It just looks like somebody went, "Oh shit, we need to do this." Um, so I'm not 100% sold on that, but I think it will be standard for 26 on Bronco as well. So take that for what it is. Overall, though, they didn't say this was going to be a limited edition vehicle, but they also didn't say, "Hey, we're going to continue to make this vehicle all the time." So if you are interested in one, don't let my opinions of this vehicle sway you. If you like the vehicle, man. I as a journalist, I hate when other journalists like feel like their opinion is the only one that matters, and that if you don't have their opinion or you're watch their channel or whatever that basically it's you can kiss their ass. No, I don't care if you don't like what I like. I'd rather you not like what I like, but see, you can just catch the corner here of the handle and over here the corner of the handle. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be something where you're gonna whack your head across. But the intensity, the interior of it, once again, why are we like you've made Raptor now so not special because it's the same dash as Raptor, the same red, the red handles as Raptor. You really watered down the Raptor accents. The seats do look good though in the white with the white centers, the white stitching, and the branded 60th. Well, you really can't see much there, but 60th anniversary in the seats. And ultimately, pricing's not out just on this just yet, but I would expect it's probably 75,000 plus, and I have no interest in it. Wouldn't I don't like the grill. I don't like the wheels at all. I think the wheels are awful. And that's my personal opinion. And I know Ford, don't kill me on that. I don't like them at all. And I know 100 people though that do like it. So remember, I'm just some idiot in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm just some dumb redneck. So take it for what it is. Take it for what it is. As we I wanted to talk a little bit about Ranger Raptor in the rest of the midsize lineups right now. Um, Ranger Raptor we owned. I sold. I don't know if I've done one of these midsize truck shows since I sold it, but we sold the vehicle. I did a video on it a couple months ago where I just started treating it like a pickup truck. It wasn't as special, which it is a pickup truck, should be used as that. Kind of just didn't feel as I felt like somebody needed to go to a different home. Somebody was going to love the thing. I dreamt of that vehicle, so it was kind of a letdown that it wasn't as special to me as I was hoping it was going to be. But I had a bunch of fun in that vehicle. Bunch of fun. We took it to the dunes a year ago, had a blast up there. Um, I am very interested in picking up either the new Chevrolet Colorado or a Frontier. I'm interested in starting to do a build on one of those. And if you guys are interested in helping with that, we have a membership on here. It's $5 a month. It helps the channel. Go to our Patreon, All Terrain Nation. Go to Patreon, help support us that way. I do special things over there. I'm probably not as special as I should, but I do behind the scenes photos, stuff like that. And then also, you guys know, night I usually have some bourbon here. Some bourbon right here. Bourbon Nation, Bourbon Nation Media. Go check that out. That's a bourbon channel that we're working on, so it should be fun as well. But it's I'm interested. I in one of those two midsize trucks. The Toyota's off the table for me. I think it's too expensive. It's not that fun to drive. And you look at okay, you could buy, get the off-road SR, what is it? TRD off-road version. That might be fun to build on and live with for a year or so, but I don't know. Something about that truck I just do not like. It's pretty much the interior. I don't like it all. I have interest in the Chevrolet and the Nissan. So I am curious what you guys would do. If you were have to pick one of those two, which one would you do? Would you do the naturally aspirated V6 Nissan, or would you do the little Turbo 4, which once again I said is just loud, just kind of a loud engine. But that's kind of where we're at with midsize trucks. Definitely, we will be next week. We will be in East Tennessee covering the Bronco Stampede, which is part of Jeep Invasion that they do over there. So week 1 is Bronco Stampede. Week 2 is Jeep Invasion. I may cover both of those. So just be aware if you see us, come say hi. Like, oh, we love talking to people. I may have some stickers or patches, whatever. If you see me, I'll give you one. But just come say hi, man, and support all. If you are into off-roading, especially, go to these events, man. If you don't have one of these vehicles, if you're a Jeep guy, go to the Bronco event. See what it's like, man. Just see what these cats are about, man. Don't just judge them based on their independent front suspension. And Jeep, if you're a Bronco guy, go to the Jeep Invasion, man. Go have a blast, man. I love when I love the rivalry, but at the same time, we all like to off-road and have fun with our vehicles, and they're very similar vehicles. I mean, very, very similar vehicles. So there's that. I will try to do another one of these next week. So if you missed the midsize truck show, we will definitely try to get back on the horse with this one and get these going again. I have some think I have some press trips coming up as well. So you never know what's going on. So in the comments below, guys, let me know what you think. Are you interested in that Gladiator? I damn sure is. And if I have a feeling they wait till the second generation to do a 392 in that, but maybe they don't. I would like to own a 392 Wrangler right now, but it's at the end of its life cycle. So I'm kind of, there's not a lot of fresh meat on the bone there to chew. So I'm definitely going to get the next Wrangler though. So be aware of that. And if there's some other mid-sized vehicle out there that you guys want me to check out, leave me a comment. Send us an email, allterrainnationmedia@gmail.com. Easy way to get me there. Go to our website, allterrainnation.com. We do cover the news there as well. I write stories and talk about the latest in the automotive world that interests me. I'm an outlet that doesn't have to cover every damn thing out there. I only want to cover what I want to cover. That's the fun of this. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or these badass mid-sized trucks that I love to drive, I'm able to do it because you guys watch the videos and stuff. I do greatly appreciate that. It means more to me than you imagine. It's been your All Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.